What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Sudi Sam. And as you can see, I got two special guests today. I'm going to have them introduce themselves one by one.
My name's Tina.
And I'm Maria.
These are my lovely cousins, sisters, all the above.
Yes.
Yeah, today is episode 16, if I'm not mistaken, of Know the Game, a show about relationships, friendships, and kinships, but mostly about relationships.
She was a baby girl, why are you crying for? My shorty from Mexico, she made me come like Rapido.
Do you guys believe in soulmates?
No.
Why not? There's not a destined person out there for you specifically?
I don't think so. I don't think so in the sense that you could get along with almost anybody depending on like what you guys have in common or like where you guys are from or like just being a part of the same family. You know, there's things that kind of hold us together. And so based on those things, it doesn't mean that you have like a destined person.
Okay.
You can meet somebody that you guys just kind of go.
Okay.
But you could also meet another person where you guys go.
Yeah.
So you could either spend life with this person or the other person.
Okay. So
Yeah.
there's not
A single
specific
person. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you fall in love or when you are in love, would you say you're in love based on how you feel about them or based on how they make you feel? If that makes sense. Like,
You're in love.
are you in love because of your feelings towards them or because of how they treat you?
That's a good
Oh,
question.
that's interesting.
You know?
So am I in love with the person?
based
Am
on
I in love with the person
Yeah.
based on how they make me feel or how they treat
how
me?
I feel about them,
Or how you feel about
them.
that.
Like, is your attraction towards them the main thing that made you choose to love them, or is how they treat you the thing that made you love them? If that makes sense.
Let me answer
Oh,
this one.
okay.
So for me, if you would have asked me when I was in my teens, I would it's based on how they make me feel. Like, no, how I feel about them.
Okay.
Because I feel like for me, when I was younger, I was going by like relationship. Well, I shouldn't say relationship because I literally have been only in two relationships my entire life. But the first relationship that I've ever been in, I would say that I went into that relationship based on how I felt about that person. So it was mostly attraction and just how I felt about that person. But like my second, which is now my husband, I went into that relationship and that relationship progressed because of how he made me feel. So did he make me feel safe? I felt safe around him, which made me feel comfortable. The things that he would do to like help me in like certain situation, the advice that I would get for him. So it was mostly how he made me feel. Hence why we are now married in Jesus' name. But yeah, so like I feel like it based on how I was. So when I was in my teen, it was like how I felt about that person, and like when I got older, it was more how that person made me feel.
Okay.
So yeah.
I think in any relationship that I've ever been in, it's always been how that person has treated me. Look how they've made me feel.
Okay.
Because I'm not typically the kind of person that sort of just be liking everybody. You know, like I'll find somebody attractive, like, oh yeah, they look nice, but that's all I'll do. That's it. But like once they start, like the way they treat other people or the way they talk or the way that they, you know, like act towards me or the way that they speak to me, that's what makes me like them.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't think that shallow of, I'm only going to love you if
Because
you make me feel a certain way.
Okay.
I don't know. I really don't think it's shallow because I feel like the other person should. I don't know if that's how they think. That's another thing. I'm not sure if that person is also thinking the way I think.
Right.
Because for me, I would want to further the relationship based on how they make me feel. But I don't know if that person is also.
No, because hypothetically, if you're in a relationship and someone is treating you like trash,
Yeah.
that's how they're making you feel. So would you stay in that relationship
You
because that
wouldn't.
person is treating you like trash? No, you
So I don't
wouldn't.
think it's shallow.
So to further the relationship, it's dependent on how they make
exactly.
you feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how people say they have feelings for somebody, or hey, I have feelings for you. what are the feelings?
What are those feelings? That's a good question. Because what feelings am I feeling right now? You know, we don't even really.
Because if I would have to describe it, I would say it's nausea.
I would say
It's nausea.
if it's any feelings, I'll say okay, maybe I'm feeling some sort of attraction towards you because of the way that you are or the way that you look. That's the only feelings that I'm feeling right now.
That's the only thing you guys could think of.
Yeah.
Like, let's say not for you guys, but just in general. What do you think they're talking about when
Like,
they,
you know,
when they
what are
say
they
they have
That whole
feelings?
butterfly, they say people always
Yeah.
describe it as like butterflies,
No, the butterfly.
which is the nausea that I'm talking about. People say like the butterfly in your stomach, your
Yeah.
heart palpitations, feeling shy maybe whenever that person walks past, or
Okay.
like when you're next to them, nausea.
So they
like,
they just
yeah,
mean
stuff
like,
like that.
I feel weird about you. I think
Ooh.
I just feel weird.
that's-
Like my body
no.
does different things when you're around.
Nah.
I just feel odd. I feel out
You've
of place.
never had those? I've had those back in my teens. When
my
I had that the first guy that I've yeah. Like I felt like every time he would like come around, like I felt like I've been shy. I've always been kind of a shy person, but like I'm extra shy whenever he would pass by. My words is all like scrambled and stuff like that. I get the nausea again, that butterfly feelings that people they talk about.
Do you guys think that's a warning?
You know,
Because
Is
should
it a
your
gut-
body
a
be
gut
feeling like
That's
that?
what I'm saying.
I mean, they did say
And your gut.
scientifically that it's
Your gut
giving you
talks.
a warning, and I should have listened to it because that what happened afterwards, it was traumatic. It was traumatic.
Peppa.
That was a warning. You see, it's not a butterfly; it's a warning. Do you hear
Don't
me?
listen to that butterfly.
Okay, so you're saying if you have those feelings, you should run away? You
Yeah.
should take a step back?
I'm not saying you should run away. I think you should be cautious.
Okay.
If you have those feelings, it could be because should you be having those type of feelings if it's someone that you like?
I don't know. Maybe people just react a certain way to.
Oh, I have a
attraction.
comparison. So like I was saying, my first relationship made me feel nauseous, right? And then the whole just feeling shy or something like that. My now relationship, one thing that I told my now husband when we started like when we started in courtship, and said we were like in 2 years, 3 years into our courtship, right? One thing that I felt whenever I was around him, I felt at peace. I didn't have to worry about anything. I didn't have to think about anything. Like his like presence was like, I mean, the presence of the Lord is enough. But like my husband's presence like put me at peace. I could be like worried about so many things, and so many things could be going on in my life. But as soon as we were like together, I felt at peace.
Okay.
And I feel like that's something that I did not experience when I was in my first relationship. It was very chaotic. It was always like me worrying. It was always me panicking, like thinking if this man is gonna cheat, whatever.
Yeah.
But I never had to feel that way about my now husband. Like I was always at peace. I feel like that would be like a comparison.
Okay, so basically, it's okay to have feelings, but just be careful on what the feelings are.
Exactly.
So make
Yeah.
sure the feelings are positive and not negative.
Yeah.
Let's talk about family dynamics.
Okay.
Like as Africans, what do you think is something that we can adopt from other cultures in terms of family dynamics or just relationships?
Communication.
You don't think
Or talk.
Africans can
We do not
communicate?
talk.
No?
It's very rare that you find an African family that
Communicates.
communicates. You know, there's always something hidden. There's always something you can't say.
Yeah.
Like, for example, if we're going back to relationships,
Yeah.
in an African family, you really can't, you don't have that freedom to talk about your relationship because it's considered like a no-no. Like
Yeah.
you shouldn't even be dating in the first place. Maybe in certain families it's different, but in a lot of African families, you will find that they don't have that liberty to just talk about their relationship or talk about what's going on. Every feeling is viewed in a way of like either you shouldn't feel that way, or it's witchcraft, or it's this culture is changing you, or so and so. You know, they always have something for whatever. But it's never like, let's sit down, let's talk about this, let's look at what your views are. Let's look at what am I actually saying to you? What am I telling you to do? What am I worried about? That's why a lot of African children like go out and just do stuff without their parents knowing. And it's stuff that other cultures I've heard, like, oh no, I talk to my parents about my boyfriend and they know, and my boyfriend comes over. But in growing up in an African household, you couldn't just bring a guy over. You couldn't even be caught standing next to a dude at church.
Yeah, without them assuming
without
that you're
them saying,
dating that
no,
person.
you're dating somebody or you're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, do you think that affects how Africans go into relationships?
Yeah.
Like just based off the family dynamic, let's say inside that family, there is no communication like you just said. Do you think that affects how those children that grew up in that family perceive relationships or how they go about going into relationships?
It does
Yeah.
affect relationship, like romantic relationship or just any relationship in general. It does affect that like a lot. I would say communication is like the biggest thing in any relationship, and not just a romantic relationship. But a lot of people, speaking from my own experience, it has been. Now I'm a little bit better at it, but it was hard for me to communicate my feelings to people. Like, I would rather go through hardship, and I'm talking about like go through hardship
in the
than
gut.
communicate that I am suffering on the inside, because it's something that's never been taboo. And apart from like also communication, and I would also say like delegating responsibility and freedom, and like in an African household, how they would want to give so much responsibility not only like to the oldest but like the female in general, but then give freedom to the men. And so then, no offense, no offense. So then most of us, like ladies, we grew up into that house structure to where we're not allowed to like explore the
You guys are
world,
confined.
or we're very confined.
Yeah.
And that affects us. Like once we get out there into like the real world, I'm saying that we're not in the real world. However, it's like we're experiencing life all over again in our like late 20s nowadays. And it's hard because like you have to kind of learn a lot of new things that you should have learned when you were like in your teens or maybe even younger than that. But because you were so confined and told that, you know, you were only trained to become a wife, and that's all that matter. And now you're an adult and you kind of want to make a life for yourself, but it's kind of hard to do that because you can't really communicate well with people.
Okay.
You can't ask for help because you've grown to be so independent and self-relying on yourself and not other people. So it does affect you a lot.
Yeah, I definitely agree with both of you guys' points, because something that I've noticed, even just from my perspective, at least as a guy, because African households are definitely confined.
Yeah.
More so for the females, of course, but like not being able to like go to sleepovers or like you know, if events, functions, after school activities and stuff like that. But at the same time, those are the places where people learn things, right?
Exactly.
And it's not necessarily that you, let's say, it's not necessarily that you partake in whatever they're doing, but you at least can see and start learning like, okay, this is what happens. This is the outcomes of this certain action. But then if you aren't exposed to any of that, right? And then you grow up, you finish high school, you graduate, you go off to college, and now you have all this freedom that you've never had before. Now you start going and doing these things that you haven't learned from, so you don't know the repercussions. And then by the time that you realize the repercussions, it's way too late.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this generation first, or like the recent generations.
Okay.
What do you think that we got right as a collective in terms of relationships? Like, you know what? We may have messed up a lot of things, but we're doing this good.
I think
if any.
I would say
there's a lot of interesting things that we've started doing. Like I just found out about situationships. I didn't know about that until my late 20s. I just found out about like the family like kinukuna benefits thing. Friends with benefits. So there are some things that we are changing up that me personally, I don't agree with. But what I would say that I do agree with is that this generation is becoming a lot more self-aware. I think we kind of already like see and know what we want.
Okay.
Yeah, in that sense. We're seeking therapy. I think we're a lot more involved in getting counseling and recognizing that there is a lot of stuff from
trauma.
past generations that we really need to get rid of before hopping into relationships.
Right.
Which I think it was also a good and a bad thing, because I think what it forced us to do is to get that kind of, oh, let me just do this. And that's how you get into those situationships. You just, oh, let me just do this because I don't feel like I have enough capacity for an actual committed relationship. So let me fall back on this.
Okay.
But I feel like we're a lot more self-aware on our feelings, how people make us feel, how to communicate those feelings.
You think there's situationships and the friends with benefits is a byproduct of us being aware? Like
is.
like
I think
I'm not ready to commit, so I want to be in this.
I mean, look at the things that we've created. The social media that we've created, the dating apps, which are solely based on, I just want to get this, you know?
Yeah.
What is the benefit that I want right now? What can I get right now?
I also think something that we've gotten right in this generation, and I'm going through like the women's side, is like a lot of women now are not basing their forever, like their life based on like being married. They want to create a life for themselves. Henceforth, like their career, building, you know, their IRA, like they're doing
They're doing
like,
a lot of stuff,
investing in stock, like they're doing things to advance their life to where like being married is not like the high thing that they're wanting to accomplish in life. There's many things that they want to accomplish before they can settle down, and they don't necessarily have to settle down. And I feel like that's okay. I feel like a lot of us were conditioned very early that, you know, we need to be married. We need to,
Marriage
you know,
is the end all, yeah.
Marriage is everything. But I feel like this generation is more aware that they don't have to get married. You know, marriage is not everything.
Yeah.
I can pursue this, and then marriage can come after. It may not,
Or it
come
may
after,
not,
and
yeah.
that's okay.
Just being content with that.
Yeah.
And being content with that, I mean, if you look at how, like, bearing children has like declined. It's
yeah.
the lowest that it's ever been. Marriage is the lowest that it's ever been because people are finding new ways on how to live in community.
And how to fulfill themselves.
Yeah, without marriage, without having kids and all of that. Is it good for us? In the long run, I think we're going to see the negative effects of it. But right now, I feel like it has created a sort of happy and content community.
I'm wishy-washy with that take. Because I don't know, just as a guy, I feel like I don't want my woman to be hyper independent.
But then it's also,
Why?
that's actually saying that you don't want your woman to be hyper independent, but there's other men like out there who make it to where a woman has no other reason but to be hyper independent, because there's not a lot of men like you who want to take care of a woman. That's
the other negative thing that
they want a
this
woman,
this
but they don't want to be
society has
able to take
created.
care of them. The woman still gotta
The
have a job.
responsibilities,
The
they
woman
don't
still gotta
want
pay
those
like a little bit of her
responsibilities.
own bills. So there's not a lot of men like you
So
out there.
the
It's
choice,
the-
we
it's
have
the-
no choice.
It's the what does she bring to the table?
Exactly. And don't even start with me on
don't
that one.
even. We'll see. We'll see
I
at that.
cannot.
Don't even ask me that
I
question.
can't. Yeah.
That's kind of a segue into the next question of what do you wish that we could adopt from past generations?
But first,
Chivalry.
can you answer why you don't want your woman to be
Yeah.
hyper independent?
I don't know.
And is it with you?
From what I've seen, just from my personal observation, most, not all, but most women that are hyper independent or like extreme feminists or whatever, is like there's like a back end, an underlying tone of entitlement, and I don't like entitlement. But I feel like when it comes with independency, hyper independency, you kind of have to your feminine side and your masculine side, they're both
clashing.
there. So
Okay.
then like it's kind of like I want my woman to be feminine. I want to be the
Masculine.
the masculine side. So then if I'm clashing with her masculine side that she has developed from the hyper independency, from having to, do all this stuff, I don't know, it kind of just rubs me the wrong way. I don't know if it's a power thing. Maybe it's an underlying like a power.
Or
they
it could be
were
part of
called
the
that
whole
toxic
generation stuff
masculine.
that I was talking about. Giving so many responsibility, especially when you're a female, especially in an African household, to where you have nothing but to be independent. So then when you grow up and now, or even now you're in a marriage, it's hard for you to ask your husband to do something for you because you might as well just do it for yourself. You grew up like not.
I don't like that.
But
Exactly.
I also really agree with you. Like, yeah, like right now I'm super hyper independent because I had to be. That's how I grew up. So the situations that I was put in made me this way. So, but for in a future partner, what I'm looking for is a super masculine person that allows me to be feminine.
Okay.
So in this society, there's not a lot of that
Yeah.
going
true.
on.
'Cause
It's
I
like
feel
the
like if
man
there
wants
were
to be
more-
feminine,
yeah.
the woman wants to be masculine. It's like we have switched.
Yeah,
We're
but
confused.
however, if there were more men like you who are willing to take care of their women, like their woman can work, but they don't necessarily have to work.
Facts,
you know,
yes.
and more of like I can depend on my husband. Like let's say I'm having like car issues, like I don't even have to think
I
about
don't
my
wanna-
oil
I
change.
don't wanna
My husband
YouTube
already has
things
it.
and learn
like that
stuff.
allows a woman to be so soft to where like the masculine side even doesn't come out at all because she knows that her man her man has everything. Like he will take care of it, and that allows that woman to be very soft and very feminine, and just like dwells and just sits in that femininity. So
I think my biggest problem with what you had said was not having marriage as a priority. I think marriage is a beautiful thing.
it is a
It
beautiful
is.
thing.
It is.
I mean,
I think everyone should be able to experience it, or should have to experience it.
But
Not necessarily.
let's go back to what Apostle Paul said.
I'm not saying rush
Apostle
it.
Paul.
I'm not saying rush it or anything.
Yeah.
But
No, I get it.
I don't like the mindset of not. Why wouldn't you want to get married?
I think
The
you
economy.
know also Sam. It's the society that we are creating.
true.
You know, if
Exactly.
women were in the environment in which they could be feminine, I think a lot of women would be.
Would want to even.
They
be
would
married.
want to
So
be.
you're saying the reason that most women don't want to get married is because
Because have you seen how some men, and I'm not putting
Not
all
every
men in
man.
it, a woman cannot go out without being like sexualized or touched inappropriately without consent. A woman cannot just be by herself without being afraid that there's a man, walking behind her trying to attack her. Like the world is such a crazy place nowadays. It's not safe for women at all. So living in that,
you start
to
not
combat
trusting.
it.
you're not. You
Yeah,
can't.
to combat.
It's hard
Yeah.
to trust men.
Yeah.
And needless to say, there are some good men out there, yes, but there's a lot of bad ones. There's a lot of bad ones to where it's so scary to even want to get into a relationship or even try to be in a relationship because you don't know if that person is a
Crazy.
devil in like a sheep in wolf clothing.
A wolf in sheep's clothing.
Exactly.
Okay, no, I get
You
it.
know?
I understand.
And you just never know. You just never know.
It's kind of paranoia,
Yeah.
kind of like what if?
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything could happen. Well, going off of that, you were saying what is it that we can adopt from like old generation?
Yeah.
I feel like what's missing a lot is chivalry. Like chivalry is
Chivalry.
missing a lot. I feel like it went away because a lot of men have adopted this mindset of where like I'm not gonna treat her unless like she's like wife material. Like they pick and choose what the woman deserve to be treated, how a woman deserves to be treated. So like
Okay.
let's say
Okay.
if this person is only a
nice.
situationship or like a friends with benefit type of thing or like a one night stand type of thing
Or like
stuff
what
like
a
that,
mistress or a side chick.
that man is gonna do the bare minimum. But like if this is something that he's taking seriously, he's gonna go above and beyond and treat that woman the way he wants to treat her, opening
Because
doors for her.
he knows that she deserves it.
Exactly.
Okay. So that means if let's say if your case is correct, if it's because they're treating people based off their title with them, that means that it's come to a point where there's more situationships and friends with benefits than there are serious relationships.
Yep. And then
Why?
it goes back to women now acting more masculine. So it's like, hey, if I can get any man to do whatever I want, then I'll just have all these multiple men that do what I want. And then men are like, if I want a feminine woman, and then they go looking after women that are in need of them because they feel needed, because the other women are hyper independent and they have their own bag and don't need them.
Hence
This
why
is a very
marriage
confusing
is
circle.
minimized.
It's
It's minimal.
very confusing.
Yeah.
Why aren't there that many serious relationships anymore? What's causing the decline?
I think we don't take the time to understand each other anymore. It's all just noise. I get what I want from you, you get what I want from me, and then we go
I
on
like
about
that.
our business.
What goes into understanding somebody? And can you fully understand somebody?
You can never. You definitely can never understand somebody fully. Yeah, like it. Everybody, it's like an onion. There's always a different layer.
There's always a layer.
Always
different
a different
situations
layer.
and how they will react with different
Yeah.
situations, different circumstances, and how they will react to different circumstances.
In one of the previous episodes, she mentioned how people stay in relationships even though they don't love the person that they're with.
Yeah, no.
Why would you do that?
So in preparation for marriage, I've been doing research and like looking at different kinds of relationships and different things. And what I see a lot of is people getting married and finding out like their partners don't even really like them. Like, how did you get all the way to marriage and this person hates your guts?
How?
That part I really don't understand.
That's a scary
because
thing.
Shouldn't there be signs in the
Right.
midst of you guys dating or leading up into marriage? Like you have to see warning signs. Unless you're really closing your eyes, and by the time you open
Or
them,
that
you're
person is
married.
really a come on, Mel.
A narcissist.
Come on, Nini.
Manipulative? Come on, Nini.
Chameleon.
A chameleon.
What? If that person is a chameleon and has been hiding their true colors all this time, and then you start seeing once you guys are married, now they have this sort of like resentment towards you,
That's scary.
isn't
See,
it?
that's where that's when it goes. Like when it comes to like going into relationship, you know how I see you always asking people in here like what's your type, and a lot of people base their type on like how that person looks, and attraction plays a huge part in it, but I feel like it should be based on like that person's characteristic and personality.
Yeah.
And one of the things that you should never do is tell that
A person
your
what
type.
you're exactly
Yeah,
what you're looking for,
in
because then
them.
they start acting exactly like the way
because
you're
they'll
looking.
feed you the
Know
facade
the
that you're
game.
looking for. They'll feed you the facade that you're looking for, and now you're in the marriage, and he's showing his true colors, and that's not the person that you chose to spend your entire life with.
Y'all hear it
Imagine
here
waking
first,
up one
guys.
day and it's not that dude.
Yeah. Yeesh.
Ladies, gentlemen, we have a breakthrough.
There you go.
If someone ever asks you what's
What your
your type,
type,
do
don't
not tell them your full type, because they'll start, what is it?
There's
Masquerading.
Yeah, they'll start. Yeah.
So if they ask you what's your
like
type,
that.
just say, we'll see.
Just say
We'll see if you are
yeah.
if you are
I don't
it.
really have a type.
Yeah. Just say I don't have a type, but let's get to know each other and see how it goes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Because it's very scary. Because another guest that I had on here, Kiana, she was in a abusive relationship. We talked about it on the show.
Yeah.
But they were good for about 2 years until he switched up.
Wow. Yeah.
After 2 years, I'm like, how can you pretend to be someone that you're not for 2 years? That's the scary part.
That's really scary.
That's really something in
Yeah.
the mind.
This is just some
That's
men out
really
there.
something
I'm not just saying
psychologically.
some men. Like, some women can be like that as well too. So, both species.
That's crazy.
Be careful. So yeah.
Oh man. Or those people that maybe the man or the woman, mostly it's usually the woman that wants marriage, and so the guy's like, I mean,
I guess.
let me just propose, I guess, I'm not
I feel
really
like
ready.
these are conversations that you guys are supposed to have. Like, do you want to get married in the
There's
future?
a lack of
Should be the conversation.
communication.
Those should be the conversation that
Okay.
you both have to be like in tune with each other and be like, marriage is in our future. Maybe it's just not right now, but eventually when we get there, that's when we get there. And maybe talk about when will you get there.
Okay.
That
Or when
timeline is important.
do you want to get there?
Exactly.
When should these conversations be had? Like, let's say I find a girl, we mutually decide, okay, we're gonna start talking or courting. When should we have these conversations?
I know how like some people maybe don't like to take too long in relationships, but I feel like a year is a good time to start like talking about like what's
that's too
next.
long.
I feel like a
Haki,
year
that's too
it's a
long.
safe because like a couple of months
Do
you don't get to know.
Do you know how wasting a whole year of your life? I wasted a whole year. I can't get that back. Yeah, I learned some lessons, but that's a whole year.
But in that whole year, you're actually starting to like think if this is somebody that I want to spend the
In
rest
a
of your
year?
life. Yes, in a year.
Don't they say that men can know who they want in 6 months or less? Eske, what are you doing? What are we just standing
I was
here?
thinking like these hard conversations should be had in the first 3 months.
Exactly.
First
I was gonna
3
say.
months.
Yes.
I was gonna say less
Maybe
than
it's
6
just
months.
me.
Because-
in less than 6 months, you should know exactly where you guys are going.
Not-
Why are we wasting people's time?
It's not about knowing what I want. It's about having a conversation of, so then we know your intentions, my intentions, where we want to be.
Inten-
what-
okay.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what
I was answering it
intent
mostly
should
of
be-
like, you know, what happens now after that, you know, we've been in a relationship. So that's how I was answering
okay,
it.
okay,
No,
okay,
But if we're talking about
okay.
intentions, then
Yeah.
I agree with the both of you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a
Yeah.
year, it'll depend on the conversation. If you say, okay, let's date for a year and then see what happens. But seriously, even that, man, I hate wasting time. Why are we wasting time?
That's facts.
What's your take on divorce in the African community? How a lot of
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
a lot of women are told to endure a lot of things in marriage.
No.
Okay.
Okay, I don't know too much about it biblically, but divorce, if you're getting abused, if you're not somewhere that you're loved, a man's duties are to protect, to provide, and to love. If
Preach.
he's not doing those things,
You gotta
get out
go.
of there because you're
You
not being
gotta go.
respected.
Mental health does not exist in the African community at all.
Facts.
Mental health does not. If you take a look deep in your parents, they have some type of mental issues.
Every single one of them.
Each and every one. I can tell you right now in my
Control.
family. I'm not
there's-
gonna say names.
And they're rooted in traumas as
It's,
well.
Yes.
it's all rooted in
Yes.
trauma, but
Yes.
we're not like in tune into like actually accepting that and facing that. A lot of our parents don't want to accept the fact that, you know, they could be a little bit emotionally manipulative. You know,
Every
dealing with
African ever.
anxiety,
Narcissist.
you know, dealing with anxiety, depression, like all of those things. They're in
No,
the
that's
African
oh,
community.
it's just high blood pressure.
Oh,
You
go
are
sleep
like
yourself.
society, my friend.
I also think that a lot of Africans have what's that called? Survivor's remorse, because they left the hometown and they're living this better life.
Yeah.
But you know, they don't want to perceive it as survivor's remorse, and they don't want to feel like they are guilty. So then I don't know, maybe they find like outlets to
release that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that's definitely true.
But what is your take on Mali?
no, we should
But
not
it is
exist.
in the Bible. It is in the Bible, but I feel like now they've made it into like a sale your daughter.
bands, $30,000.
You know, I've been to a dowry situation ceremony where the father asked for 30 bands.
25 bands.
30 bands.
20 bands.
Yes, he asked for
15
30
bands.
bands. And I can guarantee you right now in his bank account there was only $12. And he was asking this man for 30 bands.
I don't understand.
That I don't understand
I
either.
never understand this.
Yeah.
I think because I did.
It's
When I was still in. Well, I'm still in college. But when
That's
I
a
was
down
still
payment
in
for a home,
college,
guys.
exactly.
Yeah.
When I was doing my first year, third year of college, I did a paper on this. I did research on where bride price even came from. And I think the original concept was right.
The biblical
I
it
believe the
Thanksgiving?
original.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It was more of honor. It was showing gratitude.
I like
It didn't have to always be money. It could be gifts. It could be food. It could be anything. But because of generational greed, selfishness, the selling of children, that is when it became like, oh, you have to give us 10 cows, 5 cows. You have to
Yeah.
give us $50,000. You have to get... The concept of bride price is actually a beautiful thing. When two families come together and they say, okay, we're about to become one big family. We're welcoming this other family. What do? We show gratitude. So it's not only the groom's family showing gratitude to the bride's family, but it's also the bride's family showing gratitude to the groom's family. It's getting to know each other. It's understanding now we're in this together.
Yeah.
Now we're not letting these children suffer. No, we're going to do. And most of the times in some cultures, that bride price was taken and given back in another way to the bride and
to the
groom.
bride, yeah.
Whether it was getting their first hut or their house or their home or whatever, getting them food, getting them silverware, giving them gifts, giving them whatever for when they're at the actual wedding. That's what it was. It was two families joining together. It was a union, you know. But now families don't even get to know each other.
No.
It's the guy has come. We don't even know who this person... That stuff makes me so mad.
They hear
You're
engagement.
giving somebody
money.
away,
Yeah.
your precious gift away to somebody you don't even know. And all because they have proven that they have a lot of money.
That's crazy. And I've never seen like a unity of two families before, except for like recently. But in every African wedding that I've ever been to,
These
it's
people-
always
oh
so
my God.
chaotic. And these weddings that they end up doing, the bride is never happy. I have never seen a bride that is happy because they're also just like, oh, this gotta get done. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And then
So
it's all for
stressful.
show and everything is just for show. They're not happy. But like one of the things that I've noticed recently was my sister-in-law's like dowry, like an engagement. It was such a beautiful thing.
It was such a beautiful
You can
thing.
definitely see that it was a union of two families and they all came together. It was peaceful. She was happy. He was happy. All the family was just kind of talking together. It was a union.
It was getting to know each other. They
Yeah.
were engaged in
They had known
conversations
that man
together.
prior to each other, but now it was the
They
family
were
coming,
knowing each other even more. Don't give your gifts to strangers.
Because that
guys.
girl is a gift. That daughter that you're giving away is a gift. That's somebody's sister. That's a gift, and that's about to go away. You can't just give it away to somebody that you don't even know. It's crazy. We gotta do better. We have to do better.
You know, after explaining like that, I agree. I think then if it's like a Thanksgiving, if it's an honor thing, it should be based off like the means that they're able to give.
Yes.
Like
I agree.
It's whatever you
get-
feel
yeah.
like you want to give to the family.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, that's the end of the episode. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for my lovely guests for being here. If you guys want to see them again, I think they'll be back.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
They'll be back eventually in the future.
Yeah.
Y'all want me to shout anything out?
I have a beauty page. It's called Beauty by Maria. I do wig installs or wig
does a great
reviews.
job.
I put the
If you can see the
Instagram
wig,
right
if
here.
you can see the lace, don't mention it in the comments. I promise you, I'm not. Don't do it. Don't do it. But yeah.
But yeah, y'all don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all of the above. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Bye.
You're not the one that I need. You're not the one that I'm seeking, shawty. You're not the one that's for me. You're not the girl I've been dreaming about it. You're not the girl that asked, do you love me? And I said I don't know if I do. You're not the girl that I fumbled. You're not the girl that I couldn't commit to.